Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I wanted to do a video today on brain fog and just generally feeling like mentally blocked and just this feeling of being clogged up in your head and not being able to think straight, not being able to concentrate on things, not even being able to come up with ideas and stuff like that. And I think it's something that no matter whatever like theme you have or whatever fear you have, I think it's something that almost every OCD sufferer experiences as a symptom of going through chronic anxiety. But before I go on, please subscribe to the channel, let us know what you think, and you can contact us on WhatsApp from the link in the bio below. Yeah, and if you want to come in for one-to-one coaching sessions or attend any of our webinars, we can help you out with that. I might sound a little bit I don't know, nasally because I'm just recovering from a flu. I mean, it's better today, but I've slightly been a bit off. And if I start taking up, it's not because I'm emotional. It's because as it is happening right now, I'm there was a sneeze that was coming up and it stopped. But anyway, so this is yeah. It was so hard. Anyway, so I've brought my little Doodle notebook over here as well of different things. I've made this because I want to talk about brain fog and feeling like your all your mental kind of capacities are hindered by OCD. So I want to talk about that in the context of this, but I'll just get to this in a bit. So I think many of you will feel in the context of work, especially like you'll feel like maybe you are only working at bare minimum capacity. You are struggling to come up with ideas, or you're struggling to even focus for 10 minutes straight kind of thing, because you get exhausted very quickly, or you are unable to think of different ideas. I definitely experienced this at work as well. Like sometimes we'd be sitting down for, let's say, brainstorming sessions, right? And I worked in like an animation studio, so like we would be thinking of different kind of things. And first of all, I could barely sit for 10 minutes straight and not feel exhausted. I would take very frequent breaks from work, and breaks from work didn't always mean, I mean, it came in different forms. I would either go for a small walk, or I would maybe like take a nap in the in a free room as well, even if it was just like a 10-minute nap. I would, or I mean, even if I was still sitting at at a table on my laptop, I would just change my window and I would just watch a little bit of YouTube or something before resuming the task. But again, I was taking those breaks so frequently that, I mean, if I in total calculated how much I worked by the end of the day, not that much. And obviously, that wasn't a great thing. I didn't like that because I wanted to work more. I wanted to be able to do more things. I wanted to be involved in more projects as well. But it just kept feeling like I didn't have enough capacity. I was exhausted. I also had like, not only did I have exhaustion and fatigue, but I also had a fear of being exhausted and fatigued. So that naturally added on to and compounded the feelings of fatigue. And so obviously, like it that I mean, and the ton of compulsions I was doing anyway, I can, I think, easily summarize and say that my brain was very sluggish in that way, in its thinking capacity. And in sitting down and doing brainstorming sessions with my team back in work, like it was like someone would come up with an idea, and it would be a really good idea, and it would be like, yes, like I knew this too, and I had thought of it, but somehow I couldn't remember it in this moment. And it wasn't like jealousy, or it wasn't like, oh, I need credit for this idea because I had it like before. But I would just feel frustrated at the thought that these are things that I have at some point thought of, or I knew these things, and I could have brought it up if only my brain wasn't feeling so constantly clogged up. And I think it would just frustrate me at my own condition. Not that someone else came up with a great idea. I was always open to whoever came up with the idea. But so these were like different things that would happen, and I would creatively speaking as well, like and especially I think like if you're someone who belongs to a creative field, or if you're someone who is a creative person. So if you're someone who is an artist or work in film, or you're a, you're a writer, or even if you're someone who's like a graphic designer, or yeah, if you're from any kind of field where there's creativity involved, I think especially like that kind of brain fogginess is you're going to feel that more because of how much, like how many like different ideas that you have to come up with. It's not just like a 2 plus 2 equals 4 kind of thing that you have to do. And this is not to under like downplay like anyone any person who works in like a corporate setting or finance or something, that brain fog doesn't affect them. It does. Being just a creative myself, I think I'm just trying to highlight that. And I was someone who, I've had your classic like range of creative interests. Like I I love reading books. I've like deeply enjoyed and appreciated music. I've studied like film as well, quite a bit. Again, I've written poems and stuff like that. I used to make art, and I still do, but I mean, back in the day, I used to make it far more frequently. So I was always that kind of person, and and I thrived on like that kind of creativity, putting ideas on paper, experimenting with different things and whatnot, and kind of like my job in some ways relied on that as well, back when when I was working in that studio as well. I mean, I'm lucky that even in what I do for OCD recovery as well, a lot of the posts and stuff like that we're doing, like I'm making them, so I get to play around with that creativity element still. I don't consider myself like a amazing graphic designer or anything like that, but like I think I can do like a well enough job where things look nice enough in that sense. So I mean, so those were things that I really like struggled with back then, and my creativity and my ability to put translate ideas from my brain to paper or to implement them was something that I really cherished about myself, and I really liked that about myself. But but it used to really frustrate me and make me feel like that I've lost that again. Another sneeze that just stopped. So I'm not emotional, or I'm not crying over anything. It's just, yeah. Anyway, so it's something that really affected me on an emotional level as well. Because I felt like I lost that ability to translate my ideas and implement them. And the other thing was that whatever I did make, sometimes I didn't like it. I thought it was not good. It was, it was stupid, or it just, my skill wasn't that great. And so even my relationship with whatever I put out was, you know, like it wasn't great. So of course, when you're going through OCD and when you have chronic anxiety, your nervous system is going to be really jacked up, and yes, it is going to affect your thinking ability a little bit. And of course, that can be a fear for people too. That, oh, what if it does something to my brain, and what if I'm never able to concentrate at work, and what if I'm never able to get through my workday or have like a successful career because of OCD, or what if I'm not able to get good creative ideas, and what if like I don't get my old self back, and that sense of failure, that sense of losing who you are, that sense of not being successful and whatnot. Of course, those fears can be there for a lot of people. In fact, there is a fear of feeling confused as well, and we've actually recently done a webinar on that too, which is like a very common fear for a lot of people. And I think it overlaps with the fear of having brain fog, the fear of like never being able to think clearly, all of that. So it takes quite a lot of like breaking down those fears as well, but also it takes a lot of putting things into action too. Because I think like when I was again going through that as well, I was not really putting any effort into changing things. I was not doing any behaviors to help myself in overcoming the brain fog. I was, in fact, because of all the compulsions I was doing, and because of how much I was addicted to comfort and not wanting to feel fatigued and exhausted and overwhelmed, I was, in fact, ironically enough, I was intensifying and solidifying the brain fog and the mental blockage that I was feeling, right? So that's where this comes in. So it was in that job. I think this is probably either end of 2017, I think. Again, this was at my first job. So one of my colleagues, she became like a really good friend. She's still a really good friend of mine. She gave this to me, right? And I mean, she like this is just like a little again doodle notebook kind of situation. And she was like, "Hey, I know you like making art, and I know you've been wanting to get back to it. So this is something where you can, just literally put whatever you want to, like, and you can. It doesn't have to be like amazing art, but you can do whatever you want with it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." Again, theoretically, I liked the idea, but I didn't feel connected to this because I was also emotionally numb as well, and things that used to excite me stopped exciting me. Theoretically, they did, and I know it sounds strange. Like I knew that these are things that excite me, and these are things that suit my personality and my thinking, but I didn't feel the passion or the emotional connection with doing some of those things, right? So I think from 2017 till 2023, which is 6 years, I had only filled this notebook up in 6 years. I had only filled it up, let me see, this much. Out of this total, I had only filled this much of it up. And that was mainly because I used to procrastinate. I didn't like whatever I made, and I was just like, what's the point? That kind of thing, right? So I didn't do much in this. So this is how much I had failed. And then I think around 2023, even though I had recovered by then, but I think it still took me. I had recovered from like contamination OCD, relationship OCD, but I think in getting back to things that I used to enjoy in my life. Oh, wait. Okay. It took me a while to get back to that. So, but then from 2023 till 2024, in just 1 year, I filled this entire thing up. So 6 years, and then 1 year after recovering. Because then I became far better with making mistakes, making imperfect things, making things I didn't like, making things that I had no clue what I was doing, making things that I would end up feeling like they're completely useless. Um, and I think it just came with the being okay with even like wasting time, or wasting my productivity, in that sense. Because part of the reason I was not doing anything is, again, the brain fog was there, but on top of that, I was also not sitting down to do anything about it. I didn't want to take any risk. I was like, whatever I do, I want to sit down and I want to, and these are the beliefs that are commonly holding people back and keeping them procrastinating. So where does procrastination come into play? It's whatever I do, I want to enjoy doing it in the first go. It needs to be excellent in the first go, and I need to know exactly what I'm doing in the first go. Those are often times the beliefs that are holding people back in putting things into action. No matter whatever it is, it doesn't have to be creativity wise. It can even be someone who wants to start their own little business or venture or something like that. Even there, or even someone who is, let's say, working in the finance sector, they might be putting off a task because they're waiting for that mental clarity and surety to actually start doing something rather than sitting down and going through the process of figuring out. They don't like, people don't want to do that, and that's also low frustration tolerance, and that's what I was trying to avoid as well. um I've actually, let me just quickly have a look because I also just want to see if I have written, because I wrote like small little poems kind of thing as well, which were kind of like very emo, to be honest, at the time. Um, oh yeah, okay. So here's the thing. Sorry for the long pause, guys. I'm just going through it and reading some. I haven't actually read this in like ages. I mean, I made these things, but what? So okay, this is a good one. Is my art any good? Again, this was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and then there's this little stick man who is taking like a tumble down a hill. This is kind of like my interpretation of Sisyphus, in that way. Oh, this is really emo, and this is really like dramatic. I will I will die an unread poet and unloved artist. Um, or a highly laughable one. Wow. Um, then I wrote this little stanza. Again, it's not even a full poem. It was literally a ramble. I will sleep one day. I will sleep and hold, um, and hold dream cubes that melt in my palm. I will cross the veil and splash it onto people who might taste water. I don't know. Yeah, literal random crap, that I have written. But yeah, I mean, I'll just give you a little brief run through of the different things I made. Again, I have no idea what this is. Um, this was two people trying to have a conversation in a bar. Yeah. Oh yes, this was just. I mean, I had a lot of crayons, so I just wanted to put literally all of them like this. But then I also wrote, "This will not be the nucleus of my life," which is kind of like, I don't want this to be this chaos to be my life. I want peace, essentially, which is what I was trying to compulsively, constantly go for. Um, these are also just random scribbles and random thoughts put out as poems, not as poems, but I don't know, I was just like writing them in poem form. um, Desperately making my pen work and spin something poignant, but I'm not going through anything anyone else hasn't, and there's nothing I will say that hasn't already been said better. This is what I've written over here, this thing. Yeah, and I think this was that desperation of like wanting to put something on paper that I would like and enjoy, and something I felt like was also different, but at the same time feeling like I'm not doing anything special over here, and then having that low self esteem with it as well. Yeah. Again, some random creepy woman figure. I like doing like complete block colors like this. Again, just random stuff. I'm not someone who makes what do you call it, like sketches or landscapes or something. I just make like whatever. This is like a, I don't know, geometrical pattern. Again, block color. Just my name over here. This is okay. Yeah, this is like a little personal essay that I can't share over here. Again, just random things. To be honest, like a lot of this was also, at some point I also realized that I just want to write, like use pen to paper, put pen to paper. That's all. I want to put colors down, and that's all. And I think that in itself became a really good, satisfying process to try and overcome the brain fog and not trying to aim for something satisfactory or something perfect or something amazing, and just doing something for the sake of it. And that's all, even if I didn't feel like it, and even if I felt like I was wasting ink. But I really needed to also do that to overcome that thing of like, oh my god, I can't do this and I can't concentrate and I don't like what I do and this is complete crap. Also, this is the other important thing, especially. So, for instance, this thing, right? It didn't look like this. Like, what if I showed you what this looked like before? So I made this thing, I think, first in 2018. It literally, there was nothing of this sort. It was a circle over here. There were a few dots of different colors over here, and there was like a blue, like I think something over here. And I made that in 2018. And then in 2024 or 2023, I was revisiting, all some of the old drawings I had made. And I completely revamped it. I mean, I'm not saying this is some amazing piece of art or anything like that, but I like this far better than what I had made previously. And so this is the other important lesson over here as well, that sometimes whatever you're doing may not come to a satisfactory completion in the moment. It's something that you might have to work on across time, which is like a really good metaphor for like the recovery journey as well, that in the moment what you come up with or in the moment where you are is not something that you like, but it's something that you keep adding on little by little by little, and eventually you see like a final product or result later on. I mean, I don't know, maybe a couple of years later I might revisit this again and add something else, and then it'll look something like completely different. But these are things that I had to also learn as well, that especially with art, in my relationship with art, I could just I can make something and not like it in the moment, and then maybe 2 years later I can look at it and be like, ah, this was actually not that bad, and then add on top of that. This is also one of those things. This entire thing didn't exist, it was just this small thing. And I liked it as it is, but I just felt like adding something a little bit more. And I did. Oh god, this is super dramatic. I can no longer tell if it's true or if my brain is knifing itself out of vengeance that I do not understand. Um, okay. Then it becomes like it's a sexual metaphor. I think I should keep that out. But then there's this. Again, I won't take you through every single page, but I just want to show you. This is up till where I did in up till 2023. This is up till where it was. Everything after that is just new. So these are just some scribbles, some more random writings, some more block colors. Yeah, some more uh, stuff. This is also really interesting. So this is signed 2019. I was making like a little quick sketch of one of my colleagues, and this was literally just a pointer that I used to draw his outlines. And then in 2024, I revisited this, and then I just made it like a more cartoony-ish thing. So this is like a, I don't know, like a king with a crown, but also I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is. I don't this mean like there's no significant meaning behind this, like literally. And I think that's the other thing. I was like, whatever I made, does it have to have meaning and interpretation? No, this is just, I don't know. Whatever came to my mind, I did it. And I mean, I put like this funny expression on him for no reason, and that's that. Um, there's a lot of ROCD stuff, by the way, that I have written over here. Like some of the things I'm not sharing, which are some like personal ramblings I've written, or some relationship OCD stuff I've written over here, because there was someone I had like where relationship OCD was massively latching, and I just was so terrified of losing that relationship. I was terrified of that person rejecting me, not liking me, and that kind of stuff. I literally just wrote this one sentence and nothing after. I don't think I can ever replace you, and I fear that I might. that is, I think, like a classic thing of like, I don't want to lose you, but what if I do replace you and then I regret it? And then there's this like void, because that's what I would think. I would like, if I lose this person and I have to replace that person, then I will never be happy again. I will always miss them. That kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, anyway, I mean, like I said, I don't want to run through each and every single thing. I like this one. I think this can be a maybe like a digital print kind of thing. Some snazzy woman, but she looks a little pissed off as well. Um, this looks like, I don't know, me in some ways, I think. Um, but yeah, but yeah, guys, I think I just wanted to do this video, and this is not like a showing off my art kind of thing. I mean, I literally just wanted to. Also, I don't consider this necessarily good, to be honest. I mean, it's just like random things on paper that I put down. But I just wanted to illustrate how much of that, mental block can affect us. But then, if we really work past our beliefs and we also become try to take more risks as well, and we really change our behaviors and our beliefs together, like it can actually help us overcome that brain fogginess, and not feeling so caught up in it so badly. So again, whatever you're doing in your life, I hope you're able to work through that. And yeah, if you have obviously any questions about brain fog and trying to work through it, you can pop them down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys on another video soon. Bye.